It's Saturday morning, and I'm happy because it's Saturday morning because that means I'm not working. And we're here for a blogger QA. You guys love these, and I love these. Hubby made me a cup of tea, and I feel all warm inside because I'm going to be talking to you all. So I'm on 10. Y'all know I'm always on 10. Well, that's not true. I'm on 10 right now because it's the weekend and I get to talk to you all, and that is pretty exciting. So it is 10:29. We're going to get started in 1 minute. I'm going to let my people know on Instagram, because you know Instagram is my heart and soul. I'm going to let them know I'm live, and everybody else that I'm live, and then we can get started. Because I did receive some questions, and we're going to talk about the launch of my new course, which I am pretty happy about. So let's get it going. Gonna make sure everybody knows, and then we can basically get started. So how are you all today? Let me know how you are. Are you well? Are you happy? I hope so. Because, you know, sometimes in life, things just get really crazy. But I hope you all are having a blessed Saturday morning. I know I am, because like I said, I am here with you. And I am excited about that. So it is 10:30 on the dot. On the dot. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because, you know, I'm only going to be here for half an hour. So, you know, I got to make the most of it. So get your orange juice, your toast, your bacon and eggs, and let's just go ahead and start chatting. So the first thing I want to talk about, obviously, is my course, my new course. So you should see the links to both of my courses. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken my blogging bootcamp course. I just want to tell you why I started blogging bootcamp. I started blogging bootcamp because I felt so isolated and inadequate and like not confident about being a blogger, because who was I to be a blogger? You know, I'm just a curvy girl, school teacher, who wanted to blog, and I didn't have a clue. And there were people along the way, obviously, that inspired me. And I felt like this is something I want to do. And I ultimately became very passionate about it. But I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing until I took my skills that I've acquired as an educator and used those skills to figure out what to do, you know. And then there are some politics to blogging too, you know, being heavyset, being brown skin, having natural hair. There are certain barriers that come with that, which is a whole nother conversation that we can have if you want to. But understanding who I was and where I fit. So Blogging Bootcamp was created to help people so they didn't have to kind of go through the things that I went through as a blogger and all the struggles that I had as a blogger. And I still have struggles because I'm still learning. You never stop learning. So that's why I created Blogging Bootcamp, and it has been a hit out of the park success. I only have 4 spots left. Can you believe that? Can you believe I only have 4 spots left? I like to keep Blogging Bootcamp fairly small because I want to be able to greet everyone eventually, and I want to be able to speak to everyone. And when you have more than a certain number, you can't physically do it. So I deliberately only do 1 Blogging Bootcamp course or 2 a month. This month I'm only doing 1. And I have a new course, and it is Finding Your Blog Vision. And this is so important. Well, your blog vision, but it's called How to Find Your Voice. And my blog didn't start taking off for me or doing what I needed it to do for me as we continue to grow until I found my voice and until I wasn't afraid to have that voice. Because one thing that you have to understand about blogging is everybody's not going to like you. You're not for everybody to like you. And you're going to have to find that place within your writing style, within your brand, within how you present yourself to other people. You're going to have to figure those things out. And those aren't things that people can teach you per se, but there are some skills that you can acquire, and there are some resources that you can use to pull it out of yourself. So that is what my new course is about. If you're watching me on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. And if you are watching me on Google, on the Google Hangout app, there should also be a list of courses that I offer. Like I said, Blogging Bootcamp is almost about full. I'm only going to accept about 4 more people because we packed. Okay, we are packed. So because we're packed, we have to close that soon. But my new course, that's open, that's going. It's called How to Find Your Voice. You're going to discover your blog voice. You're going to improve your writing. And you know, I'm an English teacher. I don't have as much time to do that with my own blog. But I felt like I can take the skills that I have as an educator and help someone else. So even though I don't have the time that I would like to invest in my own blog, being able to help other people is so fulfilling to me. I never could have imagined that I would have taken this course with my blog, because who am I to teach anybody about blogging? But actually, I'm pretty good at that because it's what I do every day. And all you have to do to be able to do this is to know what you're doing. And the information is out there. It's out there, you guys. It's out there. You know, it's out there. So that's what my new course is about. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the Hangout because I'm only supposed to be here for 30 minutes. And you guys know I can talk to you forever. My mom is probably saying in her mind right now, stop waving your hands around. Stop waving your hands around. But I'm so excited, like I have to move. But okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to drink my tea and we're going to go ahead and get right into the questions because I have a couple of questions that have been emailed to me, and I also have some questions that people sent to me in different places. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. All right. So let me get my life together. And the first question comes from Tiffany, and Tiffany wants to know how to share her blog with others and catch their attention. Well, Tiffany, one thing I'm going to tell you is blogging is very superficial. It's very superficial and it's very visual. I mean, I don't even think it matters what your niche is. If you're a food blogger, if you're a craft blogger, blogging is very visual. And what I mean by that is you need to make sure that whatever camera you're using, whatever you're doing with your writing style, you need to make sure you're on point, first of all. Before you can even really worry about catching the attention of other people, you need to catch your own attention. Like, you need to look at your pictures and say, I'm proud of that. You need to look at your blog and say, I'm proud of this. I'm ready to put this out there for other people to look at. And I'm never really proud of anything I do, like, because I'm such a perfectionist. And because I have such a busy schedule, I have a full-time job, I have a husband, I have a family, not children. Y'all know I don't have no children. But I have nephews and I have a sister and I love to spend time with them. My schedule is like, I have no time. And so if I had the time to do that, I would do it even more. But what I would say, Tiffany, is make sure that you are on point. Make sure that those pictures are visually pleasing. Make sure that people can understand what you're writing, what you're trying to present to them. Make sure that you do those things, because if you don't do that, there's so many blogs, there's so many people taking their clothes off on the internet and in their panties and in their whatever and grabbing attention. And, you know, so many people are doing so many things on the internet that they're going to pass you right by. They're going to pass you right by. They're not even going to be interested. So you have to make sure that your blog is visually pleasing to the eye, that your Instagram, that, you know, pick a platform that you can roll with that one, and then focus on different platforms as you go along. So just make sure you're on point. That's the first tip. And then have a voice. You know, like that's what my new course is all about. If you don't know what your voice is, you need to take this new course. It's the same price as Blogging Bootcamp. I'm not in here charging y'all $500 to learn some of the skills that I have learned. It's the same price as Blogging Bootcamp. And if you don't know what your voice is, my new course is, y'all need to get on that. Get on the new course, because that's going to help you really identify who you are as a blogger and be comfortable in it. And be comfortable if people don't like it, because you're providing information for your core audience, not Susie's, not Michael's. You are providing information for your core audience. So I can't go deep into that, but my new class, yeah. All right, so that was Tiffany's question. I kind of went out of order. I believe Shakayla, I hope I said your name right. It's a challenge driving audiences from social media to my blog. How do you encourage your followers to actually go to your website? Well, there are some strategies that you can use to help your audience visit your social media platforms. But what I will say is, find out where your audience hangs out. You need to know where your audience is. Some people have a heavy audience on Twitter. Some people have a heavy audience on Facebook. And if you're trying to grow your Facebook, you can do that through spending some money. You can do your ads. You can boost your post. People who have 200, 500 million followers on Facebook, I mean, you think they just did that just because they're that wonderful? No, no, it doesn't happen like that. Like, I'm not going to say they buy their followers, but when you boost your post, it makes your information visual. It makes your information visible. So if I have a post that I think is really great, I would never consider boosting my post before. But you have to understand, the blogging thing, it's not about who's best, or it's not about who's the greatest. It's just not. Some of the most popular people, they're not the greatest. They're not the greatest at anything. There's a whole lot of factors that go into blogging that you really have to do your research. You really have to do your research and know these things. So you might want to consider boosting your post if you're on Facebook, if you have a Facebook fan page. I don't know anybody who's not a celebrity that should have a fan page. It's called that, but I don't call my readers or followers fans. That makes my skin crawl. Because I don't have fans of anyone. No one's a fan of mine. I have people that appreciate what I do. But they call it a fan page. So create a page if you want to use ads to kind of boost you up a little bit. And then make sure that, once again, you are on point. Make sure your pictures are on point. Make sure your blog posts are on point. And make sure that you understand the needs of your audience. People have to want to read what you're talking about. If you're talking about things that your audience doesn't care about, or they don't know who you are, or they're not drawn in to find out more about you, nobody's going to come from social media. So you have to be very strategic with social media and how you present the information. You can't give it all on social media. So even I've had to pull myself back from social media a little bit. Like, if you give every single thing on social media, nobody will be intrigued to come to your website. So did you hear that? I just slapped my leg. Why? So you have to, you have to make people, there's a psychology behind it. There's so many things I want to share with you all that I just feel like I could combust. I'm crazy, right? I just feel like I could combust because I can't give it to you all in one question and in one answer, but just understand there's a psychology to social media and there's a psychology to making people want to come to your blog. And it takes a lot of work to figure out the formula because everybody's formula is going to be different. But what I would say is make sure you're not giving everything on social media. Make sure you have great pictures. Make sure you have ways that you are intriguing people to move from those social media platforms to your blog, because Instagram is great, Twitter's great, LinkedIn, all these other, platforms that you can use, but they don't belong to you. The only thing that belongs to you is your website. That's where you want people to come. I'm still in the struggle like everybody else. There are so many blogs that you really have to figure out that special secret sauce that's going to get people interested to want to move from your social media to your blog. I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, Missy says, peace and good morning, Kim. Good morning, Missy. I'm here to learn about the following. How do you find your niche when blogging? How do you drive traffic to your blog? And how do you monetize your blog? Missy, my blogging bootcamp course would be perfect for you because it gives all the general information. Blogging bootcamp is really general. I mean, there's so many more things that I wanted to tell my class participants, but it would have been overwhelming to them. So I only give like little snippets. And now I'm trying to change up blogging bootcamp a little bit and add more videos and more audio and just different things. And what I would say, Missy, I'm going to touch on each one of your questions just really lightly. Finding your niche. Your niche is directly associated with your vision for your blog and your voice. It's going to be very hard to find your blog niche if you don't know what your voice is and how you want to present yourself as a brand on the internet. So we do some activities in Blogging Bootcamp where I have them answer certain questions about who they are so that you can find your niche. So there are things that you can do to explore what your niche is. Ask people around you, what am I good at? What am I good at? If you were to say that I was good at something, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? Start there with finding your niche. And I think that will kind of guide you in the right direction. Your next question that I'll touch on is about how to drive traffic to your blog. And everybody wants traffic to their blog. But the thing about blogging is, once again, like I said, it's very superficial. It's very sensationalized. So what I would say is make sure you're taking a look at your blog titles, how you're titling your blog posts. Once again, make sure that you are providing information that people want to read about. I'm going to give you an example. As a fashion blogger, I'm not one that's heavily into trends. If a trend comes out and I like it. But when I talk about trends, a particular trend that's really popular, I get more traffic. When I write those posts about, things that I've been through or confidence posts, I get good amount of traffic. So you have to figure out like what your thing is. One, figure out why people like you. What posts do they like? If you don't really have an audience and you can't figure that out, you need to do some Google alerts for what's going on and what's trending right now. Depending if you do cooking or if you're into fitness or whatever your blog is about, make sure that you're up on what's current. I do not do that type of blog. A lot of plus size bloggers, they post, who's coming out with what, the latest look of what, like that's a bore to me. I don't care who released the latest, whatever. The only thing I care about is if I like it. My focus is always on more so how it's going to look on me. That's always my focus. So I don't really care what company released this or that. That's a bore. And because I know that's a bore, why would I make that my blog niche? I mean, there are 5 million plus size bloggers talking about the latest Ashley Stewart dress. Why do I need to talk about that? I don't care. So I think that, not that I don't like Ashley Stewart, you know, I love their clothes, but that's not something that I talk about on my blog. If I'm talking about Ashley Stewart, it's because I have a different focus, and I'm including those clothing stores for a purpose. So you have to figure out, like, what is going to make people say she's different, or look at your title and be like, oh, I have to go to her blog because I have to know what she's talking about. So, I mean, you have to like sensationalize things for people, if that makes sense. So I wish I can go on answering your question because I love your questions, but it's 10:49. So literally I'm only supposed to be on here 10 more minutes. And your last question was how to monetize. We also learned that in Blogging Bootcamp, I give like just the basic way to start monetizing. But the number one way I would say to start monetizing on your blog, if you do not have a big audience, Google AdSense is not going to do much for you. I mean, it's just not. People who make hundreds of thousands or a lot of money from Google AdSense have heavy traffic. And I'm talking about 1 million hits. They have a lot of traffic. And if you don't have if you're just like a medium-sized blog like I am, I would consider my blog to be pretty medium-sized, depending on the month. You know, I can get a lot of traffic, or depending on the type of post, but there are levels of blogging. And so you have to figure out what level you're at and you utilize the tools that you have and use it to your benefit. So I think that if you don't have a lot of traffic, Google AdSense, I would still do it. I would still put Google AdSense on my blog. And basically what that is just allowing Google to put ads on your blog. And I wouldn't do 50 ads. I would just do 1 and see if you can get, you know, see what your traffic is and see if you're getting any hits from that. But don't expect to make, you know, enough to go on a shopping spree, because you know, you're not, but it's a start. The number one way I would say to try to monetize your blog is to use affiliate links. I find that when I first started, not when I first started, because I didn't start using affiliate links till late in the game. But once I figured that thing out and I figured which ones work for me, then it's been a steady heel upward ever since. So I would say go with affiliate links. And one that I've shared on Blog with Kim, that's my blog for bloggers, guys. You can go to blogwithkim.com, is Share a Sale. I like Share a Sale. I like things like, you know, Reward Style if you're a fashion blogger. I think Reward Style has an application process now. I've been with them for years, so I don't know like what the process is, but I give all this information in Blogging Bootcamp, Missy. So if you can one day, you might want to take my course because there's a whole list that you can try. Also, try to work with small boutiques. If you're fitness, try to work with a smaller company that makes fitness products. Or if you cook, try to work with some smaller brands. You have to be very innovative when you are just starting out, because there are people out here that rule the game right now. And you're just a squirrel trying to get a nut. You know, you see the squirrel running around. That's all we, you know, we're just trying to fit in, you know, get in where you fit in, basically. So you just have to be very creative with ways to monetize your blogs. But I would say if you're a smaller blog, try to work with smaller companies, because they do give new bloggers an opportunity to work with them. And I think that's it. So thank you for your question, Missy. God bless you. I wish you much success on your blog. Okay. Let's get to my next question. Ooh, I didn't have this many questions to start with, so now I'm like freaking out because I want to answer all of them. Okay. So I think that's all from this page, those questions. So Missy asked again, I think, will you incorporate some tips from how to find your voice with the boot camp? Yes, boot camp has a section on finding your niche and how to like discover who your audience is. And part of finding your voice is knowing who your audience is. And I decide who my audience is. I don't let my audience decide that for me. As much as I adore my audience, I adore the followers of my blog all of the women who leave me lovely comments and who come and who appreciate all the hard work that I put in, and connect with me, and we chat. If you go on my Instagram, you see I'm on there. You know, I'm not like on Instagram a lot, but I'm on my page. I'm making sure that I can answer as many questions as I can, and that I can connect with these women who are just great women. And so I just think that I talk about that in boot camp. I just talk about how you need to identify your audience, but it shouldn't be your audience deciding what you talk about. I don't allow my audience to decide what I talk about. Sometimes they like what I say, sometimes they don't. It is what it is, you know, because at the end of the day, I have to get up, look in the mirror, and be okay with me. So one thing that you need to do is understand who your audience is, and you kind of decide that. You decide that kind of before you get deep into blogging, because once you get deep into blogging, you get lost. And that's what happened to me for a while. I was just lost. I was just like, wait a minute, who am I? You know, because you just do what you see everybody else do, because you think that's the right thing to do, you know? But what I've learned is you kind of have to shape your own path. So I would recommend Blogging Bootcamp for beginners, like straight beginners, people who haven't even started a blog yet, people who are thinking about starting a blog, or people who are just like in the beginning phases. I would recommend the How to Find Your Voice course for people who have had a blog, but you're struggling. No, you've had it maybe for a year, you've had it for 2 years, but nobody's coming to your page. Your social media numbers are not going up. Your hits of your blogs are not going up. Your blog is going nowhere. Well, that shows me that you don't have a voice, because when you have a voice, there are some people that are going to be really attracted to you. They're going to be attracted to you because one of the things that my followers tell me all of the time that they love about me is they love my authenticity. Like, they love the fact that I am authentic with them, and I'm going to tell them like it is. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be nasty, but I'm not going to join this bandwagon, let's all stand around and hold hands. We all agree. We all love the same thing. Like, no. Kim is an individual, you know. Did I just refer to myself in third person? I hate people that do that. Kim is an individual. I'm an individual. It's fun though, right? Isn't it, like, to refer to yourself in third person? Okay. I'm an individual. You know, I'm who I allow myself to be, who I am. And there's pain and sacrifice that comes with that. So yeah, I kind of went on, but that's what I want to say about that. So I hope that answered your question. Let me see what else is going on. So I'm just reading some of the comments. Lisa said, I love your advice. I agree, just to find your special niche and speak the truth. I am a fan. Well, that's so sweet. Wish I could listen to the whole show, but I have to get ready to take my son to the basketball game. Oh, well, I hope your son has a great basketball game, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me. So we literally have 3 minutes. So I just want to recap a couple of things. One, Blogging Bootcamp is about to close. Blogging Bootcamp is about to shut down for the spring. Well, not the whole spring, just for this month. It's going to shut down while I focus on my new group. And so if you are trying to get in there, I just saw that one more person signed up. I have about 3 more slots, and you know, I'm going to have to close that. So just to let you know, my new course is How to Find Your Voice. And in that course, this one, I like to say this one is for a more advanced blogger. This is for you all that cannot figure out why your blog is not being read. I remember those days, like when I would do a blog post and like, and a lot of people think that if you have a lot of comments, that means people are reading your blog, but that just depends. It depends. Sometimes I have posts that are read, that have like a couple thousand hits, and I don't really have a lot of comments, but through my analytics, I see that people read it. So, you know, there are a lot of things that people tell you that are supposed to indicate signs of success. And when you start doing your own research and when you start really diving into experts who know what they're talking about, and you try some of their strategies and you see that they work, you kind of develop your own path with it all. So how to find your voice is for more advanced bloggers. It's for people that are afraid to show who they really are on the internet. And I don't mean cuss people out, use profanity, I don't mean that, because that niche is for a special type of individual. I don't know what type, but just a special kind. There are certain things you need to hold back from the internet. If you are trying to build a brand that companies want to partner with and work with, so you have to decide, is that your niche? Is your niche being crass? Is your niche being a tell it like it is person? Those are all parts of deciding how you're going to present yourself to your audience. So what I mean by being authentic, I don't necessarily mean that you're use profanity or that you're aggressive or, no, that's not what I mean by being authentic. I just mean you have to allow people to see the real you in some ways. And that doesn't mean showing your husband or telling people your private business. That's not what I'm talking about. So that's why if you're trying to find your voice and you don't know who you are as a blogger, and when you press publish, you're not confident about what you're about to send out, then I would say, how to find your voice, that's the course for you, and you should take it. And that particular course is going to be even smaller because I'm offering a blog critique. And this is the first time that I'm offering the participants of my course. I'm going to go to your blog and read the post that you want me to read, and I'm going to critique that and help you pull out your special, unique skills as a writer and tell you how to use those strengths to get the most out of your blog so that people will want to come to your blog. So yeah, blogging bootcamp is for beginners. It's for people who are just trying to figure things out. You need to take that course. Finding your voice is for people who might have been doing it for a couple months or a year or two, and it's not working. You don't know who you are as far as who you should be with your blog. So that's for those people. The links are there. The links are below in my information box, and they're also on the Google Hangout event page. And it's officially 11 o'clock, you guys. So I always do a double check and make sure that no one has any questions, because I always feel bad. Like when I go back and I'm looking at the video, I always feel really bad when I missed questions. And I'm like, oh, I missed a question. I missed a question. And my soul is just hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up now because I think I hit most of the questions. Yeah, I hit most of the questions. So I think I'm good. Just a reminder, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, still leave them. I can answer them in a future blog post. My blog is blogwithkim.com. That's my blog for bloggers. And I have a fashion blog. That's like my other blog. That's my other baby. And that's thenaturalfashionista.com. And so if you have any questions, you can find me at both of those places. I hate to go. I've enjoyed drinking tea. My tea's kind of warm now because I talk so much. I have to talk to y'all because I think sometimes I talk my husband into a coma. He's like, dang, this girl, I know he be thinking in his head, like he doesn't say it, but he has to think in his head, this girl just talks too much. No, y'all know I love my husband. People who follow me on Instagram, you guys know that's my heart and soul. I mean, this blog is not this blog. This Hangout is not about my husband. That's an important factor of having a successful blog, I think. And success is relative. Some people think your blog is successful. Some people think your blog is successful if you have 1 million readers. But the honest truth of it is you don't need 1 million readers. If you know the purpose of your blog and you know what you're trying to achieve and you have set certain goals for yourself, that other people don't understand, you can make a good living from your blog. I know people, I have personal associates that make good money from their blog and their business ventures, and they do not have 10,000 followers on Instagram. I know people who make even more than that who do not have a huge following. So I think that, you know, there are a lot of perceptions that I mentioned before, and the perceptions are wrong. So I think I'm going to wrap it up now, because I'm going to stay here for another hour if I keep talking. Today I'm going to head out with my mom probably. We're probably going to go get our nails done. And then I have some things that I need to work on. It's raining, so I can't blog today. Anybody blogging today? I'm not blogging today because it's raining. But I thank you guys so much for watching and for coming. And I've had such a good time. And now my mom is out talking in the kitchen because she's waiting for me to get ready to go. Mom, I can hear you all the way in here.
It's time to get off. It's only supposed to be 30
And
minutes.
now she's telling me it's time to get off. It's time to get off. Yeah, we're going to head out. So, you guys, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Take care. Much love. And I will see you next time.